Hello there. It's James Arnold Taylor, the voice of Obi-Wan Kenobi, Johnny Test, Fred Flintstone, and one of my personal favorites, Leonardo. And you are listening to Epic Tales from the Sewer. It's totally awesome. Turtle power. Go, go, go.
Welcome to the Epic Tales from the Sewers podcast. Grab yourself a slice, strap into the party wagon, and hang on tight. Give it up for your hosts, the Cowabunga Combo, Justin and Eric.
The Last Ronin II, Re-Evolution. Story by Tom Waltz and Kevin Eastman. Art by Aseu and Isaac Escorza. Ben Bishop. With colors by Luis Antonio Delgado. Letters by Sean Lee. It says Last Ronin II, Re-Evolution. Secrets. It starts out with a drone flying over an island that we get a view of. It's Roosevelt Island. Roosevelt Island, this is Resistance 1. We are inbound. Now we show the battle shell coming in up through the water. The tires look like hovercrafts. April says, Teddy Bear Protocol is in effect. Acknowledge Resistance 1. Proceed to Bay 3. Wait, Teddy Bear Protocol? Says Amanda Rose Connor. Why do you call it that? Oh, I get it. Roosevelt Island, Teddy Bear. Huh? Says Uno. Yi responds, You know, Theodore Roosevelt? Who? Says Uno. Never mind, says Yi. Amanda looks puzzled, still having a bandage on her head from when she was attacked. I'll explain it later, says Yi. The battle shell comes into bay number 3. Okay, I'm confused. I thought this island was uninhabitable. Me too, says Yi. How come you never told us about this place, Grammy April? Casey Marie responds. I was wondering the same damn thing. Is it just me, or is this Teddy Bear a lame code name? Or who is this Theodore guy? Says Uno. Who cares, says Moya. Maybe Grandma's just into teddy bears. I like teddy bears. We know, Odin, says Moya in response. We know. Casey Marie is now confronting April. What the hell, Mom? What is this place? This is the Resistance Backup Headquarters, Case. Wait. Since when? I knew this island was our escape plan, but there you are. We were starting to get worried you weren't going to make it, Dr. Jones. You see that the woman with the red headband from the area with all the pipes is in there now, asking them. Marley, thank God. Where's Ahmed? Says April. In the command center. We're going to get everything up and running before everyone's heading this way. And Commander Zaranaga? No word yet, but knowing him, he's probably just making sure everyone else gets here first. Yeah, you're probably right, says April. Okay, let's get to work. Mom, hold up. We're not done talking yet, says Casey Marie. You didn't answer my question. How long have you been fixing up this place? My team and I have been retrofitting Stockman's old facilities right after Mikey killed Hiroto. You and your team? She looks back, pretty upset, pointing her hand back to her real team, as the turtles stand there behind her. What about us? Me and the kids? Ain't we on your team? That's a silly question, Casey, and you know it, says April. Is it, when you're keeping secrets this big from us? Look, Case, I'm sorry your feelings are hurt. That wasn't my intent. It was only ever to protect you and the turtles. But in the case you haven't noticed, we're at war, kiddo. We have been for a long time. And in war, there are some things best kept compartmentalized as much as possible. Upgrading Roosevelt Island was a need to know, Casey, and until now, you didn't need to know. She looks, they all have their mouths agape, just kind of looking at April, shocked. Sensei, we're just wondering how long we're going to be here, says Moya. Yeah, when can we go home? Says Uno. Home? Says Casey. We're standing in it. Now, at a command center with a bunch of screens, April talks to Marley. How we looking, Marley? Not too bad, actually. All systems are starting to come online. We should have full functionality soon. Right on time, too. I just got worried the others were almost here. Wow, look at this place, says Amanda Rose Connor. Yeah, there's so much cool stuff, responds Yi. Now, internal monologue, we could see that they're talking. Guys, is the lair really gone forever with all our stuff? Asks Uno. Dude, quit whining about your stupid toys. You heard Grandma, we're at war, says Uno. You're stupid, Uno, says Moya. But he's right, Odin. It is serious business. We'll worry about the lair later. Right now, we gotta be strong for Sensei, and Grandma April, too. What? Wait, what happened here? Dunno. It was our direct communication console to the exterior mainframe in Rock Bottom. It just started glitching all of a sudden, then completely unresponsive to troubleshooting. I tried to shut it down, but a massive power surge fried it before I could, knocking out the comms interface at the same time. Zayden. We hear a voice. Yes, April, you are correct. What? The console. The console. It's morphing. We can see that it's changing into a humanoid-like robot. It kind of looks like some sort of android with possibly the face of the Fugitoid. Mom, get back! No, wait. Professor Honeycutt? Just as promised, my friend. I will always be here to help you. Now, we hear a voice. I would very much appreciate an explanation as to what the bloody hell happened out there. Same thing that always happens when bullets start flying. Whole damn plan went out the window. First casualty of war, says Jigsaw. Bullets? Really? By the look of it, appears that they were shooting at you with water pistols. Very funny, Mr. Carrington. Humor is not my intention, I assure you, Mr. Jigsaw. Between Richie's inability to fully eliminate the resistance forces with his crusaders and your failure to bring me the special prize you promised, I'm finding this very little to smile about. Mr. Carrington is a large individual wearing a white coat. He's got white hair that's kind of slicked back. Looking at the Manhattan skyline behind him, we can see that he stands there with one of his saints, who has a red sort of cross on his armor in front and a red masking face as well. And Jigsaw stands there as well. In truth, I can't help but feel I've wasted much time and resources bringing you and your purple dragons into the coalition, Mr. Jigsaw. All due respect, sir, you can shove your truth straight up your ass. I lost some damn good people in that flood. Hell, I almost bought it myself. And yet here you stand, while the mutants I sent you to fetch do not. As for your so-called good people, how did you so aptly describe it? Ah, yes. Expected casualties of war. You know what? Forget this. I'm done with all this useless yapping. Talk about what a stupid waste of time. Good riddance. And now it appears a temporary truce is in order whilst I sort this mess out. Unlike you, inept lot, I never let flying bullets derail my plans. Back to the lair. Now Zayden Honeycutt talking. I know you were not planning this, but I promise you have no reason to fear me. Even in this form, I remain Zayden Honeycutt, your ally and friend. Everyone get back! Not one more step, robot! Says the sergeant of the resistance. We can see the team behind him. He draws his pistol. No, wait! Stand down, Sergeant! So April gets in front of Zayden. He's one of us! It's really you, isn't it? Affirmative, April. It is me. She gives him a hug. Oh, thank God. I thank you. I can't recall the last time I was embraced. Trust me, you earned it. But how, Zayden? It really wasn't so complicated, my friend. When the virus first started attacking our systems, I immediately began transferring the parts of myself functioning within the lair, as well as our most sensitive data, to the computational facilities located here on Roosevelt Island. Then, when you'd initiated Teddy Bear Protocol, when the floodwaters were released, I completed the transfer, leaving behind a firewall to stop the virus in its tracks, so to speak. Once my full digital essence was here, it was just a matter of utilizing nanotechnology to construct new form from various hardware components in this facility. I wanted to assure that I was physically separate from the network in case it had been corrupted. An ongoing process, as you can see, because he's not quite complete. Well, not gonna lie, none of that sounds uncomplicated to me, but I'm as glad as hell you pulled it off. Jones, what the hell is going on? You're asking me, Scrape? But there's more, April. The virus was a well-planned attack, which I believe originated from the Chevalier's compound. Carlton. Affirmative. And there is another anomaly I discovered in Oroko Hiroto's former tower. Okay, you've got me curious, but let's hold off on discussing this until Commander Zaranaga gets here. Sergeant Conway, any word from your boss? No, ma'am. I was hoping we'd find him here. Yeah, me and you both, says April. Okay, folks, we're going to need a full accounting of who's here and who's not. And once that's done, we need to figure out where our missing friends are at. Which means I'm going to need you two to get on your comm systems back online. Whatever it takes. You got it, Doc, says Ahmed. And I will assist in this task, says Aiden. Casey, why don't you see about getting Amanda and the kids situated? And then you and your crew can help with all the new arrivals. But, Mom, what? Listen, I know everyone has questions, and I want to make sure to answer them as best that I can once I get everything back online. But before we do anything else, we need to know what's going on in the city. Now we see Commander Watabe giving a pep talk to the resistance forces. Listen up. We got minutes to get patched up and hydrated before we get back on the streets. What about the busted comms, LT? Still down. Tech guys are working on them. Lieutenant Watabe, a runner from the city hall just dropped this off. Give me the TLDR. A truce has been called between Chelsea Cartel and the Midtown Mafia. Chief Farley wants all police back on the streets to make sure it sticks. Copy that. Any word on the resistance? Yes, sir. Apparently there was some kind of massive flood after they retreated. The entire underground was wiped out. They're talking a massive casualty event. No! We see his face. He looks shocked. Casey! Now, back to Casey, looking kind of concerned, as everybody else sits in the kitchen. Just kind of looking on. Amanda Rose Connor says, It's gonna be okay. You'll see Odin. She comforts Odin, who's sitting down. But our house is gone, and all of our stuff is gone. Oh, brother, says Uno. Did you guys see Grammy's robot? Wow, how cool was that? Says he. Is something wrong, Sensei? What are you looking at? Asks Moya. Nothing. Everything. Oh, good, as April comes in. I see you guys found a place to crash. Not the Ritz, I know, but it'll get cozier the more we set up. Speaking of it, I grabbed everyone's remaining gear from the battle wagon. Uno, go help your grandma. Yes, Sensei. Thanks, kiddo. Take some stuff from April. Thank you for being so patient, Miss Connor. It's not the day I bet you were expecting. Please, call me Amanda. And no worries, Dr. Jones. I get the feeling that I'm not the only one caught up by the surprise today. But all things considered, I'm good. I'm just really worried about my crew and the other people caught in the crossfire. You're not alone in that either. We're waiting on word from a lot of our missing people, too. But we're busting our butts to get the communications back up, so we should have news soon. How about you kids? Holding up okay? Rough day so far. It's like the worst day ever, Grandma. Dude, quit being such a crybaby. Leave him alone, Uno. This does suck. Yeah, it does, Moya. What about you, Yi? Doing okay, sweetie? I'm good, Grammy. I mean, I'm a little sad about the lair, but I know you and your robot are going to fix it all back up just like you did to this place. And I can help. Sure, kiddo. We'll see. But since we're talking about the lair, how about I tell you a story before we get back to work? Won't take long. You too, Sensei. I'm good. Casey Marie Jones? Fine, she says, giving her a look, a glare. So, okay, you may or may not be surprised to find out that this isn't the first time we lost a home. First one was a little studio apartment I rented while I was in grad school. We switched to the Ben Bishop art style. See April sitting in her studio apartment on the couch. Nothing fancy, but it was mine, and that was good enough for me. When I met Master Michelangelo and his brothers, we used to hang out there. It was barely big enough to fit all of us in, but it still felt like the whole world was such a happy time. All of them are sitting on the couch. Looks like they're playing a video game. Michelangelo's, of course, eating pizza. Donatello's just cracking up laughing. Until the Foot Clan decided to take it all away. We see that the turtles are trying to fight their way out of a fire. Looks like a scene similar to the movie. Now, Casey Jones is helping April out as she looks on as the fire takes it. It felt like the end of the world, but you know what? It wasn't. Now, back to the farmhouse. Turns out your Grandpa Casey's family owned a small abandoned farmhouse in Northampton. The place was pretty run down, but we didn't care. It was the perfect hideaway. It ended up staying there for 3 months. We see all the turtles hanging out, fixing up the farmhouse with Splinter, cleaning it up, roasting marshmallows and having s'mores together, recovering, regrouping, bonding. And when we came to finally return to New York, we knew we would always have a home no matter where we were. As long as we stuck together, we arrived as friends, we left as family. See them all leaving in a giant red truck. And then they come back to the second time around. It's raining. When we got back to New York, the turtles and Master Splinter returned to the sewer lair, and Grandpa Casey and I moved into our old apartment building my family owned in Hell's Kitchen, complete with our own thrift store. Just like the farmhouse in Northampton, it had been derelict for some time and was a complete wreck. We see Casey falling down in the basement after he sees a rat. So Grandpa Casey and I rolled up our sleeves and got busy turning that old mess into a new home. And that's how it was for years, a wonderful gathering place for our family. We see them eating Thanksgiving dinner together, all the turtles sitting there. And then the Foot Clan took that all away too, nearly killing me in the process. For a time, I was so sure that it was the end of everything and that we built and rebuilt together. I was so sure that my family was gone. We see that Ben Bishop has recreated the grisly death of Raphael, Leonardo, Casey Jones, and Donatello. Thankfully, I was so wrong. Pretty soon, I had a new baby, a new arm, and a new leg, and an old home that suddenly felt new too, as April now stands with her hand on Casey Marie's shoulder. Plenty enough reasons to keep on fighting, and we know that home is gone, and that our city could be too if we don't keep up that fight. But we will, because I believe this is what we were all born for. This is what our family does. We fight for what is right, always, and together. As they all kind of look on, hangdog expressions. Casey Marie gets it, with a very determined look on her face. But there's one thing that won't be the same. I've kept secret from you all, the biggest being this island, and what I've really been doing here. I thought it was protecting you from keeping you in the dark, but I realize now that I was wrong. And I said we were always in this fight together, and I meant it. So from this moment on, no more secrets, I promise, April says with a severe look on her face. Marley busts in. Excuse me, Doc, I don't mean to interrupt, but Tinker 2's here. In a submarine, apparently. As they all walk in, they could see the now light-haired, slightly older Tinker 2 is standing there. So you just couldn't resist, huh, April? First my dad, now everything he left behind for me. Teddy Bear Protocol my ass. More like Foot Flood Part 2, Aquatic Boogaloo. Wait, who's that? She's so pissed at your grandma, asked Amanda Rose Connor. That's Tinker 2. She runs the underground black market in Rock Bottom. Tinker 2? Yeah, 'cause she's a junior. Her dad used to be in charge, but he drowned back during the Foot Flood when Master Michelangelo was taking down the Foot Clan. And she blames Grandma April for that. See TMNT, The Last Ronin, Lost Day. But Tinky's still super cool, even if she's a little grumpy sometimes. Sometimes. And she has the coolest stuff, too. At least she did, says Yi, talking to Uno. This isn't the same as last time, Tinker, and you know it, says Marley. Yeah, well, tell that to my livelihood, Marley. One second I got a profitable business, the next I got a giant sludge water aquarium. Thanks to your late warning, all I could salvage was Dad's old smuggling sub and a bunch of wounded jarheads I brought with me. And we appreciate your helping them, Tinker, really. What about Commander Zaranaga? Is he with you? Nah, him and his wife said that they were going to stay behind with some of the soldiers that were too hurt to make it to the sub. Last I saw, they were holed up in the old drainage tunnel outside of the wall. A lot of good it did them. Guess the commander decided to go down with his ship. Real nice, Tinker. Real nice. Wasn't trying to be nice. And don't you got some more holes to dig, Marley? Huh. Hi, Tinker. Hi, kid. Hey, Amanda. Saw you on TV. How? Look at you, Odin. You're a ripped tank now. Not an ounce of chubby anywhere. Looks like your brother dropped the old reverse card on you, huh, Uno? Whatever. Ha! Laughs Moya. Marley responds to April. That whack job drives me nuts. Always with the smart-ass remarks. Maybe, but she did get a lot of our folks here safely when she didn't have to. Now, we need to figure out how to get the commander and the rest here, too. I think I got a plan for that, Mom, says Casey Marie. Now, Purple Dragon's compound. We have Jigsaw there. Casey finishes with, but it's kind of crazy. Limey bastard. Freaking Carleton thinks he's done with me. He's got another thing coming. Get off your asses, dragons. We got a job to finish. Guy with a mohawk says, Jigsaw, man, don't you think it's too soon for that? We barely got out of that stinking flood of As he picks him up with his mutated hand. No, boss, lifts him up by his neck. Someone tell you this was some kind of debate, skunk? Didn't think so. Throws him down on the ground. Listen up. I want every last one of you to spread out across the entire damn city. Pronto. Smoke out any trace of the resistance. What you gotta do to squeeze any intel out of them. We want the Joneses and their mutants. You scour the streets. I'll handle the drainage systems. You want to go where? You are off your rocker, Casey, says Tinker 2. I told you guys it was crazy, but the battle wagon isn't big enough to carry Commander Zaranaga and the others. That's why it's got to be your sub, Tinker. It's the only way. Now you're sounding like your mom. It's the only way. It's the only way. Why does it seem that the only way always involves putting me and my stuff at risk? Whatever, let's just get this over with. Before you depart, there is an anomaly I've been monitoring that I believe requires our attention. It involves the tower formerly occupied by the Foot Clan before they were defeated. The new construction taking place there specifically. I was able to trace the current ownership to a structure to a British-run company based in South America where a started plan to build a high-end apartments. But the company has tied to Arthur Bisley Carleton II, also known as the Chevalier. What concerns me is the fact that the immediate area surrounding the tower's reconstruction was remained completely immune to recent crime waves terrorizing the island, almost as if that of Manhattan is under some type of unstained quarantine by city officials. Yeah, that is strange, says April, and something I can report on if I can get back to the city and find my crew. Okay, here's the new plan. We're going to make a detour to the South Shore first, as they get out in the submarine. Now we can see Odin and Uno pulling up a raft as they use that to go from the submarine onto the land. And the turtles drop off Amanda. Get Amanda safely over the wall, then you four head to the old foot tower to see if you can find out what's going on. I want you back here at the beach 2 hours for pickup. I'm trusting you to stay stealthy and disciplined. Recon only. Do not engage. Understood? Casey Marie says to Moya. Yes, Sensei. Then Tinker will take me and my crew north as we get to the resistance folks on the sub. After that, we'll all head south again, grab the turtles, and we'll all head back to Roosevelt Island. See, the turtles getting off looks like where the Last Ronin got off on the first issue, the kind of that brown, brackish water. Okay, guys, let's stow the boat and get moving. Geez, this water smells terrible. This water's why the wall was built in the first place, to keep all that nasty sludge out to protect people. It was the Foot Clan that turned it into a prison, which makes it even more ironic that we have to sneak into the place. They look kind of surprised. All right, looks like we're set. Odin, you've got Amanda. Okie dokie, as he picks her up. Wait, are you sure? That's a long way to carry someone. I could try to climb it myself. Nah, no worries. Pretty sure Odin's your biggest fan. Now, as they cast some grappling hooks up there to start climbing up the wall, we can see them. Odin holding Amanda Connor with ease. They jump down on the other side with a superhero landing. Thanks, big guy. You're, welcome. Okay, I'm good from here. You guys do what you gotta do. But maybe we should make sure you get home safe first. No, I appreciate it, but don't worry about me. This is my city, my beat. I've got this. Good luck, she says, taking off. The turtles do the same. All right, Sensei says we only have 2 hours to get back over the wall. which means we don't have much time to get from here to there, points to the foot tower. They take off on the rooftops, jumping, leaping, doing flips. You can see the chaos on the ground. There's smoke coming out of stores, looters everywhere. Now, we see, still using the ropes and grappling hooks, swinging, kind of like Spider-Man across the way. They jump on top of a flying bus. Okay, we're here, let's do this, says Moya. How are we going to get in, though? We should be able to grapple onto the scaffolding and get inside without being seen, says Uno. Good idea. Telepathy only from here on. No more talking, she says mentally. I ain't hearing anything. You sure this is the right tunnel, Jones? That's what Tinker said, Scrape. How are we supposed to get them out, even if they're in there? Stand back. Casey kicks out this giant screen of metal that clearly no human should be strong enough to do. Commander Zaranaga, you in here? Casey? Yo, that's the commander's wife. Hurry! Oh, thank God you found us. Thank Tinker too, actually. She told us where to find you. And now we're getting you out of here. We see the resistance in bad shape. Looks like there's a lot of them who are bandaged up with slings and bandages on their head. They look pretty rough as they leave with Casey and Scrape and her crew. Back to the turtles, now on a fire escape. Remember, recon only. Let's do a quick sweep in. What the? This doesn't look like they're building new apartments to me, says Uno. Me either, says Odin. Check this out. The computers are military grade, just like the ones on Roosevelt Island. Maybe even more sophisticated, as Yi tries to tinker with them. Apartments don't need this kind of security tech. Okay, let's move for another floor. We need more intel. Freeze, says Uno. You can see a drone scanning as they hide in the shadows. Do you think it saw us? I don't know, but what the hell was that? Okay, now I'm really convinced this isn't an apart building, says Yi. Come on, we'll sweep the floor and then we'll get out of here. We can let Sensei know what we saw, but then we start to get... Opens up on a room with all construction workers. Rally point. What do we do? Looks like they're just construction workers. But we're not supposed to engage the... guys? Kill them! As they all pull out ninja weapons in construction outfits, so clearly these are foot soldiers. I'm pretty sure they're not construction people either, says Odin. You think? Now what? Now we fight, says Moya. I'm all for a good fight, sis, but I know, there's too many. And we're on the clock. Oh yeah, the rally point, says Odin as he's smashing two of their heads together as they're fighting, doing quite well against the overwhelming numbers. We gotta go, guys. No, how? There's no way we're gonna get to that door. Yi says, everyone, close your eyes. When electric blast shoots at a giant electric ball and just starts knocking people out of the way of the door. We see after that electric ball that she sent, Yi knocks everybody down. Damn, Yi. Yeah, respect, says Uno. Oh, thanks, guys. Arrows start coming in. Crap! Great. There's a whole bunch of construction workers now have bows and arrows taken away. That was our way out. Hey, Yi, you think you can make another one of those electrical bubble things like on the street yesterday? Says Odin. Yeah, I think so. Good. Follow me, Odin says, turning into stone as he rushes towards them, knocking out the first construction worker with a whoomph. Yi, get ready, as he uses himself as a wrecking ball to smash through the window as they land on top of an elevator. Now in a giant shield of electricity, just flashing blue, we could see all of them. Now what, guys? We're running really late. These jerks aren't gonna even quit. Even if we hit the ground running, they'll be looking for us everywhere. And still, we gotta get over the wall. Over it or under. Odin, can you get that out of the way? Uno says, looking at a grate leading into his water. Sure. We see Odin has picked up his stone skin. Wait, you're not saying... Yep, time for us to make like turtles and swim. We see all turtles swimming under the water. Where the hell are they? Says Casey Marie, looking. I see the boat. They should be here, Scrape. It's a big city, Jones. Could be one of a million things holding them up. Don't mean it's gotta be a bad thing. What if it is a bad thing? What if... Then you just gotta trust the training that you gave them all these years. Case. Damn good training. They'll be fine. But you heard the doc. Some of those soldiers aren't going to make it if they don't get to Roosevelt soon. I say we get over there, so we get Tinker to bring us back here to pick up your kids a little later than planned. Yeah, you're right, Sensei, Moya? Huh? Sensei, wait. Moya, is that really you? Yes. She's in her head. But how? I'll tell you later. Just don't leave us. The turtles emerge from one of the sewer pipes, coming out with some of that sludgy water. We're coming. As they get into the boat. We promise when we get back, I promise, Sensei, I'll explain to you everything, just like Grammy April said. No more secrets. Jigsaw, laughing. He can see them. He looks out with his binoculars onto the submarine and the turtles' boat leading there. Well, well, well. Would you look at that? It says to be continued. And that's the end of The Last Ronin II, Re-Evolution, Issue 4.
It's pizza time.
And now, in a segment that we call Pizza Time, where we discuss any Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle or pizza-related food, I give you Pizza Time. And now, your pizza recipe of the day, sheet pan spinach pizza with sesame seeds. Active about 1 hour. Total 1 hour and 20 minutes, plus 2 hours and 45 minutes for rising. Serves 8 to 10. For the dough, 4 cups of all-purpose flour, 1 tablespoon of sugar, 2 teaspoons of kosher salt, 1 1/4 teaspoons active dry yeast, 1 1/2 cup of warm water, 1/3 cup plus 2 teaspoons extra virgin olive oil, 2 tablespoons of sesame seeds. For the pizza, 1/4 cup extra virgin olive oil, 10 cups loosely packed trimmed spinach leaves, about 10 ounces, 3 large cloves of garlic, minced, kosher salt and freshly ground black pepper, 1 cup of whole milk ricotta cheese, 3 tablespoons grated pecorino romano cheese, 1 teaspoon chopped fresh oregano, 1 tablespoon sesame seeds, 12 ounces whole milk mozzarella cheese shredded, about 3 cups. Step 1. Make the dough. Combine the flour, sugar, salt, and yeast in a stand mixer with a dough hook. Combine the water in 2 tablespoons of olive oil, then add to the mixer at low speed and mix until a loose ball forms. Knead the dough in the mixture on a medium-high speed until smooth, slightly tacky, about 7 minutes. Step 2. Pour the remaining 1/3 cup of olive oil into an 11 by 13 inch rimmed baking sheet or a black steel pan. Transfer the ball of the dough to the pan, turning to coat with the oil. Shape the dough in an oval and sprinkle with sesame seeds, padding to adhere. Flip the dough, cover loosely with plastic wrap, and let rise in a warm place until the dough fills about 2/3 of the pan, about 1.5 to 2 hours. Step 3. Slide your hands under the dough to lift it gently, stretching the dough to fit the open pan. It's okay if it doesn't stretch to the corners. For the final rise, cover the dough with a plastic wrap and set it aside until slightly puffy, about 30 to 45 minutes. Meanwhile, put a pizza stone or inverted baking sheet into the lower third of the oven and preheat to 500 degrees Fahrenheit for 1 hour. Step 4. Make the pizza. Heat 2 tablespoons of olive oil in a large nonstick skillet over medium-high heat. Add the spinach and cook, tossing with tongs until wilted, about 3 to 4 minutes. Stir in the remaining 2 tablespoons of olive oil, the garlic, 1/2 teaspoon of salt, and a few grinds of pepper, and cook, stirring occasionally until the water evaporates and the garlic is just golden, for about 3 minutes. Remove the spinach to a cutting board and chop. Combine the ricotta, pecorino, oregano, and a few grinds of pepper in a small bowl. Step 5. Sprinkle the sesame seeds around the edge of the dough to create a 1/4 inch border, pressing to adhere. Sprinkle the mozzarella over the dough into the same sesame border. Top with the spinach and then with spoonfuls of the ricotta mixture. Put the baking sheet directly on the hot stone and bake until the crust is browned around the edges and the cheese is golden, about 15 to 20 minutes. Let cool slightly. Loosen the edges of the pizza and offset with a spatula, then loosen from the bottom. Slide the pizza onto a cutting board. And that is your recipe of the day, sheet pan spinach pizza with sesame seeds.
Cowabunga, dudes!
This is Jeremy Howard, Donatello from the Michael Bay TMNT films, and you are listening to Justin and Eric on Epic Tales from the Sewers.
Thank you for listening to the Epic Tales from the Sewers podcast. The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles were created by Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird. This podcast has no affiliation with Eastman, Laird, Mirage Studios, IDW Studios, Archie Comics, or Nickelodeon Studios. This podcast is a member of the Dorkening Podcast Network. Check out thedorkening.com for other podcasts. This podcast is also a member of the Collector's Maze Podcast Network. Check them out at collectorsmazenetwork.com. Epic Tales from the Sewers is recorded by Justin Cooper and Eric Will.
Everyone thinks because you're a zombie, you don't know good coffee. Well, they're wrong. We have very active lifestyles. It's not all wandering the countryside aimlessly or scaring passing motorists. And we all love a good cup of joe. And there's only one brew that gets my seal of approval. Deadly Grounds coffee is my guilty pleasure. Bold, robust, delicious. It's coffee that can wake the dead. With over a dozen different roasts and flavors, Deadly Grounds can satisfy the most finicky of coffee addicts. The aroma is so intoxicating. It brings all of my neighbors out of the woodwork. Deadly Grounds coffee. Coffee to die for and zombie approved. It's good to get a little deadly. Use the front door! Oh, they're so disgusting.
Greetings and shabebans. We are the Retro Reductopus Cephala Podcast, a long-form bi-weekly show that celebrates all the things that made growing up awesome.
Well, that sounds good, but I don't know what all those words mean.
I think what Parasite seems trying to say is that on Retro Redoctopus, we explore a range of retro goodness, from toys, video games, and movies, to cartoons, and even snacks and school lunches.
Oh.
And we do it all with a positive spin, a slew of killer guests, and some very adult language.
And you know what else is cool?
No.
This crazy show is part of the Dorking Podcast Network with new episodes every Tentacle Tuesday.
What's that?
And if waiting 2 weeks for a new episode gives you a sad, know that we drop bonus episodes all the time, like the off-format Crow's Nest and an interview series we call The Brig.
You can listen to Retro Octopus on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, or any app that's cool enough to carry the only show that celebrates all the things that make growing up awesome.
It took me 10 years to make the perfect man cave.
And then we took it over, and we made it into the multiversal chamber.
Then I started my own podcast.
And we took that over too. And we're the co-hosts, the Multiverse Kids.
Yeah, and I'm the dad, the geeky dad. And every week, we what?
We review the movies, shows, and books, games, and toys.
Yeah, and sometimes we even have a special guest. So, join us every week on the Geeky Dad Podcast.
Hello, intrepid listeners. This is the Generation Playlist Podcast, a podcast about music where we are your guides through a particular group or artist.
We talk about the music, and then we make a customized playlist to share with you, our listeners. And you can check us out wherever you listen to podcasts and find our playlists on Spotify.
Epic Tales from the Sewers is a new member of the Collector's Maze Network for all things geek. Check out other shows such as The Realmcast, The Creature Designer, The Evil Squid Comics, Eat, Drink, and Game, Road Tripvia, Collector's Maze Podcast, The Cosplay Club, Click On, Journey Through Lego Builds, House of Geekery, Floor Access, Cartridge in a Quest, Cost to Read, Avalon Universe, and Scooby Addicts.